Star Wars comic books, contenders or pretenders? I'm going to give you my 12 cents. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video with Swaggle. And in this video, I wanted to talk about the Star Wars books. For those who don't know, the Star Wars comics have absolutely exploded on the market as of late. Anything tied to The Mandalorian, first appearance of Ahsoka, first appearance of Boba Fett, those books have gone way up in their fair market values. And I wanted to kind of dig into this and talk to you guys and look at some of the data and see if we can figure out, is this a bubble that we're living in with these books, or is this something that is here to stay? Especially since today they're actually going to be doing a big Disney announcement where it's presumed that they're going to be talking about what's next for the Star Wars universe as well as the Marvel universe, and they're going to be rolling out a lot of new Disney Plus shows and possibly even talk about the next movies that are going to come out, which could be directed by Taika Waititi. Those are the rumors. But as far as the comics are concerned, I wanted to look at those with you guys and see if we could figure out if this is a time to buy, time to sell. What should we do with our comic books? Because I certainly want to know, and I do have my 12 cents that I want to give you. But before I get into that, if you guys could drop me a like or a comment or subscribe if you're enjoying my content, really helps with the channel, supports me, keeps me motivated, and I love interacting with you guys. So if you can help me out, I'd much appreciate that. All right, so with that being said, let us get into this Go Collect article that I'm going to look at first, and then we'll take a look at some of the books together. All right, so here is a Go Collect article. It came out earlier this week. It's called "The Market for Ahsoka Tano's First Appearance is Insane," and rightly so. For those who don't know, this Star Wars Clone Wars #1 is the first appearance of Ahsoka Tano in comic books, and this book has exploded, and for obvious reasons. The Mandalorian recently had Ahsoka on it, and everybody knew that she was coming. The book just week by week just got more and more expensive, and then finally culminating with her being actually on the show, hit record highs. But let's get into this article by Matt Tuck, where he talks about this being the case for The Mandalorian. So he says, anything tied to The Mandalorian is on fire, but Ahsoka Tano's first appearance in Clone Wars 1 has reached new levels of craziness. Ahsoka will be making her live-action debut in this season, The Mandalorian, and fans are brimming with excitement. Yada yada. Let's get into the numbers here. So the Clone Wars Standard Edition. I detailed these values, and these comics are on fire, so I will keep this brief. Simply put, the numbers here are astronomical. Up until a year ago, there was no sales data for graded 9.8s. In 2019, there were only 5 sales for an average of $281. Then came July, and this issue reached core meltdown hot. If you can find a near mint plus copy for $1,000, that is a steal. Over the past 90 days, it has an FMV of $16.95. So that's pretty crazy. Like, basically what he's saying is, a year ago, when nobody was even presuming that Ahsoka could be a part of The Mandalorian, nobody even knew what The Mandalorian was really going to be about, you could find her book for around, $281. And even before that, there weren't even many CGC 9.8s out there in the market. And now we're talking about her book being worth $16.95. And this is before she even has a show, which it is currently speculated, and I think actually might even be official, that she is going to have her own Disney Plus show. So who knows what the numbers could be with that. And that's actually something that I'm going to be talking about in a future video. Is I'm going to take a look at a book's history with pop culture and see the ebbs and flows and kind of try to analyze, like, when is the peak value of the book? I'm actually really curious with this. Is the peak value of a book something that is before a show or a movie comes out? Is it when the movie is out? Or is it like right after Endgame when Iron Man sacrifices himself and he's the most beloved character, and then his book, is something that's sought after at that point. So I'm going to take a look at some books within the context of the MCU and try to figure out what the best time to sell and to buy would be for those types of things. All right, so he continues on to say that, and then if you got this Clone Wars special edition cover, this one's even more rare, and the prices for this are even crazier because of the exclusivity. And then he says, the Ahsoka effect. These prices are insane. This is all before Ahsoka has made her live-action debut. Once that happens, value will ascend to even loftier heights. These prices cannot hold up forever, so the bubble will eventually burst. If you're considering selling, now would be a good time. So according to Matt Tuck, this is the time to sell. he might be right. No one can predict the future, but if you want to cash in, this is definitely a good time to do it because these books are absolutely on fire. So you can see here, this is Star Wars: The Clone Wars #1. This is the first appearance of Ahsoka. So everybody already knows about this book because she was in the episode. But this one right here, I wanted to kind of point out to you guys, Star Wars: Heir to the Empire. This is the new one that is trending #1 of all the Star Wars books. And this is the first appearance of a character named Thrawn, who you can see right there on the back of the cover. And he's a character that was name dropped in The Mandalorian. So it is very, very fair to presume that he's going to be coming to the show, likely in season 3. So everyone right now is trying to get ahead of the curve, and everyone is going to this book, and already the prices are insanely high. Additionally, some of the other Star Wars books, just to point out to you guys, first appearance of Boba Fett from the I believe this is 1980 that this book came out. I could be wrong on that. But this first appearance of Boba Fett, this one is totally skyrocketed. 1,500 9.8s, 500 9.6, 350 9.4s. Not a cheap book by any stretch. Star Wars issue #1. The movie adaptation, a lot of first appearances of characters like Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker, etc. 2,400 260. And then this Boba Fett book right here, again, I'm not really even sure what the significance of this is. This is just a Boba Fett on the cover, reintro of Boba Fett. And this one, 500 230 210. So still a very expensive book. So this is really interesting to me because these Star Wars books are being flocked to. And in the comic book community, one thing that, I personally am a Marvel collector. I don't really chase the TV shows like, say, like a Walking Dead book or a Star Wars or things like that. But I want to kind of look at this and kind of give you guys my thoughts on is Star Wars books, are they contenders or pretenders? Are they here to stay? And in short, I actually do think that they are. And for a lot of reasons, being that because they're in the hands of Disney, because there's so much news out there with Disney making Disney Plus shows about it, and because of Dave Filoni, most importantly, who, for those who don't know, Dave Filoni is the guy who created the Clone Wars. He was like the right-hand person to George Lucas, and it seems now that he's kind of taking over a lot of the Star Wars universe. What I like about his position in all of this is that it feels very clear to me that he's going to canonize the Star Wars universe in a way that it's never been canonized before. That is to say, in the past we had these Star Wars movies, the original ones that by George Lucas, and then he did the prequel ones, and this is all before major movie franchises were a thing. Like nothing like the MCU or what the DC universe is trying to create, and so on and so forth. This is when the trilogy was where it's at, and you got 3 movies, and then that was it, but now with the sequel trilogy coming out, it seems like they were trying to go for that same model of let's just do 3 movies and kind of, knock them out, make a bunch of money, and then we'll sell some toys and that'll be it. But it seems like now what they're doing is more of that Marvel business model where they want to do a lot of Disney Plus shows. They want to canonize a lot of stuff. They're bringing in Boba Fett. What's cool about this is there seems to be a lot of acknowledgement and verisimilitude. If you guys don't know, that's one of my favorite words. Verisimilitude is just like the believability of the world, like how much they're building it out to be a real thing. What I like about this is they've brought Boba Fett back into it. They're talking about Thrawn. They allude to Darth Vader. And spoiler alert, if you guys saw the last episode, they almost were inferring why the Empire is coming back, because again, the Mandalorian takes place before the Star Wars sequel trilogy. So they inferred like why these Empire ships are going back, and I have a feeling that Baby Yoda, his DNA is going to be used to rebirth the Empire, the Emperor. So with that all being said, what I think Dave Filoni is masterfully doing is he's really uniting everything together. He's really fleshing out the world, making it stronger in its in the lore. He's making it cleaner. He's bringing it all together. And what I think ultimately that's going to do for the comics and for the brand as a whole is it's going to cement it even stronger into pop culture, and that's really where for me the rubber hits the road in terms of why I think these books are here to stay. Is that I think Star Wars, which is already very, very, very known in pop culture, is going to be even more ingrained in our pop culture because they have the Disney backing, because they turned Tomorrowland into Star Wars land, because of Disney Plus, because of the shows, because of the movies. Like, this is a brand that they're talking about doing for a long, long time. And comic book price values only matter so much as that property is ingrained in pop culture. One of the things why the Marvel books and DC books have been so coveted is simply because Marvel and DC has managed to hang on as being notable brands within pop culture. Maybe the comic industry itself is not necessarily doing that great, but characters like Batman always have movies, always have cartoons, always have video games, or characters like Spider-Man, movies, cartoons, video games. They're always relevant. They're always relevant. They're always on kids' pajamas. They're always Halloween costumes. And so long as they are relevant in the culture, their comic books by proxy are always going to retain some of that value. Now, other properties that are not Marvel and DC, properties that are now like these TV show hot books that pop up in the market, like a Walking Dead book, or The Boys, or anything that gets licensed by Netflix or whatever it is. Like we see these books spiking, and the market goes crazy once they figure out a TV show is coming. But I don't have as much faith in those properties because as soon as those shows are done, even if they become one of the biggest shows on television, like a Walking Dead, as soon as The Walking Dead is done, nobody's going to care about it anymore. There's no legs for a brand like Walking Dead. Like, you can see right now, they're just hanging on by a thread, just like a zombie crawling in the field. They're like on season 10, and nobody cares about this show anymore. And they're really just like hanging on. And actually, that's something I wanted to kind of show you guys, going back to something on Go Collect, which I think was interesting, because earlier this year, it was Walking Dead was one of the hot books, right, of the market. And if I go to the value modeler here in Go Collect, what I think is really interesting, that if you look at this book, average values over the past 730 days, so like that's two years, average values, right? We'll take a look here. 28, 16, 14, right? This is the average values of like when the show was popular over the last 2 years. But if you look at the average value over the last, say, 60 days, you can see that 23, 13, 12, the numbers drop. So where I'm going with that is as soon as Walking Dead is no longer relevant within pop culture, I really actually think that book is going to tank. So if you are a Walking Dead 1 owner, I think now is the time to capitalize on the book. And conversely, with these Star Wars brands, because I don't see them going anywhere anytime soon as far as them being relevant to pop culture, I think now is just the beginning. I honestly do. I think now is just the beginning. That is not to say that I think now is the time to buy. I think the waters are too crazy right now to buy. We should wait till the end of the Mandalorian show, where we have a little bit of a lull. That's when you should seek the Ahsoka book, or that's when you should go after the Boba Fett book if you guys really want it. Wait till the hype has died down just a little bit. But with that being said, I think these books are going to be something coveted for a long time from here on out. I think they've never been more culturally relevant. And I think that for many years to come, with being in the hands of Disney and with Disney Plus, these books are going to be something that live on for a long time within pop culture. So anyways, that is my 12 cents on the Star Wars books. Let me know if do you guys own any? I don't personally own any. I wish I did. I love Boba Fett. I wish I had the Boba Fett one. I definitely enjoyed that episode. But let me know if you guys are buyers or sellers within the Star Wars books, and what you guys think. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.